What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire Podcast, where we want to stoke the flames of freedom every single day. My name is Kendall Bowman, and ladies and gentlemen, did you know that you were an extremist? Did you know that? Did you know that? According to the FBI, and of course the FBI is never long, just like the internet, you are an extremist. How dare you? How dare you be so? How dare you be an extremist? How dare you have traditional values and things that, you know, that are just so detestable to the rest of the world? Of course, I'm joking. I'm being very facetious. I'm being sarcastic. Excuse me. It's early in the morning, and I'm already tired of the bullcrap today. And it's because of this story from Newsweek, exclusive. Donald Trump followers targeted by the FBI as 2024 election nears. Let's get into it. The federal government believes that the threat of violence and major civil disturbances around the 2024 U.S. presidential election is so great that it has quietly created a new category of extremists that it seeks to track and counter: Donald Trump's army of MAGA followers. That's right. The FBI has now admitted that they are directly going to be interfering in the election. They will be directly interfering in the election, and they'll be going after you. They'll be going after you. Not Donald Trump, not some, rich conservative guy like Elon Musk who's got, who owns Twitter and SpaceX and all that stuff, which by all means, they are still going to be doing those things. But now they're going to directly be going after you. Let's continue. The challenge for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the primary federal agency charged with law enforcement, is to pursue and prevent what it calls domestic terrorism without direct reference to political parties or affiliations. Even though the vast majority of its current anti-government investigations are of Trump supporters, according to classified data obtained by Newsweek. So, just because you're anti-government, just because you don't agree with the government, because you disagree with their policies and the way that they've been doing things for a very long time now, you're now a domestic terrorist. That's quite literally what this says. That's their job. They go after calls and try to prevent calls of domestic terrorism. You're a domestic terrorist now. So all of the people back in 2020, all the BLM riots, all the people that were quite literally burning cities to the ground, who murdered business owners in the streets just for trying to defend their businesses, no, they're not. How could they be domestic terrorists? Antifa, who up in Seattle, who took over entire city blocks and basically seceded from the Union and, killed dozens of people in the Chaz Chop area. Oh, how could they be terrorists? They're just angry. How could they be terrorists? The Antifa members down in Georgia who were lighting buildings on fire in order to stop the new police training center. Yeah. How could they be terrorists? They're not terrorists. They're just angry. And we have to allow people to be angry. Unless you disagree with the government, then we're going to lock you up forever. We're going to lock you in a broom closet in a prison like we did that guy from January 6th. Oh, by the way, that man still has not been given a trial. Yeah. Still no trial. So, let's continue. The FBI is in an almost impossible situation, says a current FBI official who requested anonymity to discuss highly sensitive internal matters. The official said that the FBI is intent on stopping domestic terrorism and any repeat of the January 6, 2021 attack. Okay, what about the 2020 BLM riots? What about those attacks? What about the 529 insurrection, where far left extremists set guard posts at the White House on fire and then burned down St. John's Church, and were beating police into smithereens and literally forced the president. No. Let me rephrase that. Forced the Secret Service to force the president into a bunker. Because, the media lied and said that, Donald Trump was scared and he ran to his little bunker. No, the Secret Service saw how bad of a situation they were in because of the far left extremists trying to breach the White House. So they forced Donald Trump into a bunker. Yeah, that's right. That's the real story. But of course, you can never trust the media to actually say things correctly. Let's continue. The officials said that the FBI is intent on stopping domestic terrorism and any repeat of the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, but the Bureau must also preserve the constitutional right of all Americans to campaign, speak freely, and protest the government. If an FBI agent is saying that they must do those things, they're not going to do those things for you. For the lefties, they'll do that all day. They're not going to do that for you. By focusing on former President Trump and his MAGA, Make America Great Again supporters, the officials said the Bureau runs the risk of provoking the anti-government activists that the terrorism agencies hope to counter, especially at a time when the White House is facing congressional Republican opposition claiming that the Biden administration has weaponized the Bureau against the right wing. It has to tread very carefully. You're quite literally proving more so that you've weaponized the Bureau. You cannot get any more blatant than calling half of this country extremists. That's quite literally what he's doing. Half of this country supports Donald Trump. So, apparently half of this country is now extremists, according to the FBI. It has very, very clearly been weaponized against mainly just one side. Let's continue. Newsweek spoke to over a dozen current or former government officials who specialize in terrorism in a 3-month investigation to understand the current domestic security landscape and to evaluate what President Joe Biden's administration is doing about what it calls domestic terrorism. Most requested anonymity because they were not authorized to talk publicly, but were reluctant to stray into partisan politics or feared the repercussions of speaking frankly. Sure. Right. Because it's those MAGA extremists that have been going around, at speaking events telling people if you speak, we'll kill you. Yeah. That's, putting out bomb threats and things like that. Yeah, that's totally the MAGA Republicans that have been doing that and not the Antifa left-wing communist extremists. Sure. Newsweek spoke to over a dozen current or former government officials who specialize in terrorism in a 3-month investigation. I already read that. Newsweek has also reviewed secret FBI and Department of Homeland Security data that track incidents, threats, investigations, and cases to try to build a better picture. While experts agree that the current partisan environment is charged and uniquely dangerous, with the threat not only of violence, but in the most extreme scenarios possibly civil war. Yes! And it's because of situations like this, dingus. Gosh. Many also question whether terrorism is the most effective way to describe the problem, or that the methods of counterterrorism developed over the past decade in response to Al-Qaeda and other Islamist groups constitute the most fruitful way to craft domestic solutions. So, just to kind of recap what was just said there, you as a MAGA Republican have now been labeled in the same light as Al-Qaeda and ISIS and other Islamic terror organizations. Yes, that's right. You church-going, hard-working, family loving person. How dare you do those things? How dare you not support Biden? You're a terrorist. Just like Al Qaeda, the people that are, throwing gay people off of buildings, they're cutting people's heads off, specifically Christians, by the way. They're imprisoning people, torturing people, killing anyone who disagrees with them. Those people are, that's who you're just. Oh yeah, you just perfectly resemble those crazy terrorists. Oh yeah. Yeah, it must be a mirror because I can't tell the difference between you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being very sarcastic because I'm trying not to get angry. I'm trying not to let my real anger show because it's hard. It's hard when you love your country. You don't want to think that your country could do these types of things, that your government could blatantly and overtly just say, hey, we're going to go after half the country and we're going to do whatever we want to you. That's basically what they're saying here. They will go after you. They're done going after Trump. They're done going after, Elon Musk. Because that hasn't worked. Because they have the money and the resources to be able to fight the cases and the lawsuits and things like that. No. Now they're going to come for you. And if you think I'm being, hyperbolic, or I'm being, I'm like, oh, you're blowing it, you're blowing it out of proportion, Kendall. Okay, sure. Here's what Hillary Clinton had to say. Hillary Clinton calls for formal deprogramming of Trump supporters, who she refers to as cult members. Here's the exact quote, because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen. She said this on a CNN interview, basically calling for you to be thrown into a gulag and for you to be deprogrammed of your support for Trump. How about we just, put you in a camp, put you in a gulag, and you can think about what you've done. You can think about your support for Donald Trump. You can think about how evil you've been by supporting Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why the FBI just referred to the fact that there is a real possibility of civil war. It's because of them. It's because the government is doing things like this, is calling for things like formal deprogramming programs, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where we go from here. The FBI quite literally just called half of the nation extremists and terrorists, comparing you to Al Qaeda. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not seeing an off ramp. Like as a nation, we're just driving down the highway, and we're just getting further and further or closer and closer towards that event. Whatever event that is, I don't know. That single event that just sets off this powder keg, and we end up in a really bad situation as a nation, which is not something that I want. I don't want us to be in a situation of civil war. I don't want that. I want my child's future to be a future that is not filled with violence and destruction. I want my kid to be able to go do what other kids do. Go to school, maybe go to college, unless it's, in a left-wing, far-left, extremist, communist college. Maybe we'll just stick to trade schools. I don't know. I want my child to have a future and a life. And these monsters are just blatantly saying, we will take everything from you. We're coming for you. We will call you whatever we have to call you. We will label you whatever we have to label you. And we will force you into a deprogramming. We will deprogram you. You want to know how the communists in the Soviet Union deprogrammed people? They threw them in a gulag, starved them to death. That's what they did. You disagree with the government, you disagree with the state, you disagree with the party, you don't like what they're doing, straight to gulag. Right to the gulag, where you will be starved to death. You will be forced to do things like slave labor. You will be involved in slave labor. Your life is essentially over. That's the reality. That's what the Soviet Union. That's how the Soviet Union deprogrammed people. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to stay ready. You need to stay ready. Because here's the thing. You do not need to go out and commit any kind of violence. That's exactly what they're looking for. That's exactly what they're trying to get you to do. Don't do that mess. Okay? However, you do need to stay ready. You do need to stay ready. Because if they do start going door to door, finding quote unquote MAGA extremists, according to them, and locking people up or putting them in deprogramming, we're going to have to fight, man. That's the reality. If they start doing this, I mean, there's no going back. There is no going back from that. At that point, the government is so far gone. We're not going to change the government by voting. It's not going to happen. At that point, that's not going to happen. When they start locking people up into deprogramming camps or whatever, deprogramming facilities, there is no going back from that. The government is just that far gone. Okay, I don't know where I don't know. You just need to stay ready. Okay, stay ready. Protect your families, protect your kids, protect your friends. You need to realize that the government's not your friend. The government doesn't like you. In fact, the government hates you. Formal deprogramming. That's what they want. You know how they do that? It's exactly what I just stated. They'll put you in some facility or some camp, and you won't be able to leave. You'll be labeled a criminal for... And if you think that this can't happen, they've already thrown a journalist in prison for speech. Yes. There was a journalist at January 6th who was literally just speaking. Didn't go into the Capitol, just reporting on what's going on, wasn't involved in any of the things going on January 6th, just reporting on it, doing all that stuff. But he had the wrong opinions. He had the wrong opinions. And when you have the wrong opinions, you get punished. It quite literally said this. On the arrest warrant that they put out for this person's arrest, they quite literally said that his speech was the reason why they were arresting him. That's right. So they've already done this, and they got away with it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think that this can't happen in America, if you think that what happened in Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union cannot happen here, you are wrong. And I'm going to tell you this. Now is not the time to get scared. I get it. This is very scary because I know, yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. I've supported Trump for a while now. I don't agree with everything the guy says. I don't like everything the guy does. But I think he's the best option we have right now. However, everything else in my life, I'm just a husband. I'm just a father. I'm just a guy who goes to work every day. I'm a guy who's got a small YouTube channel. I just like to talk about these things. I think these things are important to talk about. That's it. What about that is extremist? Oh, I disagree with the left? Okay. That's what makes me an extremist. Okay. See, that's the reality of this situation. That's the reality. The government is basically completely controlled by people who are either on the left or who are neoconservatives. Basically, everyone in the government is now bowing to the left. And what they want is power, obviously, but in order to hold on to that power, they have to be able to push back on anyone who disagrees with them. Now, we have a constitution that allows us to push back against the government, and they don't like that. That's why they're attacking the First Amendment. That's why they're attacking the Second Amendment. That's why they're attacking the entire Constitution as a whole. I mean, my goodness, the Democrats out in California tried to remove the civil rights portion of their state constitution so that they would be allowed to discriminate against people based on race. Yeah, they actually freaking did that. That's a legitimate thing that they did. The left does not have morals. They don't care. The only thing that the left believes in is that there is no truth but power. They believe in might makes right. That's it. That's all they believe in. That's all that they believe in. There is no truth but power. You either have power or you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, you just got to stay ready, man. Keep your family safe. Protect yourself. And, guys, we need to pray, man. We need to pray. I pray every day that this country doesn't get worse, that we don't end up having to defend ourselves from a corrupt and monstrous government that wish to throw us in deprogramming facilities and things like that, which is right in front of your face. It's exactly what she said. It's exactly what Hillary Clinton just called for. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is just keep your family safe, man. Keep yourself safe. Love God, love people, love mercy. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll have another video coming for you guys on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.